As Israel's parliament readies to vote on contested judicial reforms, thousands have taken to the streets in protest yet again. Alongside the rift between the president and the Israeli government is deepening by the day. Israelis of all ages across the country have been marching in protest against these judicial reforms. Major highways and roads have been blocked in and around Tel Aviv. Protesters even encircled the houses of some members of parliament or the Knesset. This included the houses of the Likud party lawmaker Tali Gottlieb and Education Minister Yoav Kish. Gottlieb has been one of the most outspoken proponents of the planned judicial overhaul. The action comes ahead of planned protests. The police have detained a few people. Meanwhile, President Isaac Herzog has raised French concern on the state of affairs, saying fears for the country's future. Herzog said rifts and fissures are becoming deeper and more painful. He even cited the collapse of the Jewish state in Israel twice before reaching its 80th year. The president noted that Israel was coming up for its 75th anniversary. He expressed confidence that he believed a compromise agreement for judicial reform could still be achieved in a matter of days. Earlier on Sunday, Prime Minister Netanyahu announced plans to form a special task force to combat Palestinian incitement to terror. The announcement follows several recent deadly terror attacks in Jerusalem. Speaking at the start of the weekly cabinet meeting, Netanyahu said the National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir will chair the task force. Ben-Gvir has long been known for his controversial statements and a far-right ideology. For more on this story, let's now go across to our correspondent Jody Cohen, who joins us live. Jody, of course, we're witnessing large-scale protests yet again across Israel against these planned judicial reforms. The question really is, how are we going to see things panning out from here on? Because in a sense, it really seems to be a deadlock.
Right, so I'm at the Herzliya interchange, which is a major junction that was fully blocked this morning by protesters, along with many major roads across the country. Now, National Security Minister Ben-Gvir said yes to free speech, but no to anarchy, in his words, and said he can't allow protesters to paralyze the country. The police say, as you can see behind me, it's now all unblocked. And police say all the roads now around Tel Aviv are unblocked. The protest began at 8 o'clock this morning with parents and children protesting outside schools. Some protesters, as you said, blocked the homes of some MPs this morning, including one with a child with autism, which was condemned from across the political spectrum. At 10 o'clock, we saw a 1-hour labour strike. And at 2 o'clock local time, tens of thousands of people began marching around Israel's parliament. Now, as you know, this is the 7th week running of protests, and today's protests coincide with the continuation of these judicial reform bills at the committee stage. We saw shouting at the committee's stage from some of the members of the opposition, with some of them being removed for their behaviour. We're also seeing the first reading in Parliament this afternoon of the first of these bills. It remains to be seen, really, if the protests will have an impact. I've been speaking to some of those close to the coalition, Likud supporters in particular. Remember, that's the party of Prime Minister Netanyahu. They've been saying that it appears that they believe that there will be a compromise.
Well, can there be a compromise? That's certainly what the president is hoping for. Thanks very much, Jody, for all those details.
Thank you.